Milk continues to be the performance drink of gamers as an official sponsor of VidCon Anaheim 2023.
Right.
Milk's Discord server is dedicated to building a gaming community designed for sharing ideas for new gaming experience in Fortnite, Roblox, and Minecraft. Gamers who want a say on what the next game should be can head to the @GonnaNeedMilk Discord server to share their suggestions for a chance to make their dream games a reality.
This might be the most bizarre thing that I've ever worked on, and that's because I never expected there to be a connection between Milk and Fortnite, but here we are. Is this a marketing stunt, or is this something more sinister? To know for sure, we're gonna need to go behind enemy lines, find out what's really going on in the minds of all these Milk people. We need to take a deeper look at what's really happening here, find out who's running the server and why they're using Discord to sell what's already being sold in pretty much every grocery store on the planet. Hey, maybe nothing weird is going on and this will be a 2-minute video.
It involves the US government, NFTs, and whatever this is.
Milk has a problem. 95% of American households drink it, but that number is decreasing.
This video was created by Gale, the creative agency hired to advertise Milk. And there's a lot of wild stuff in this video, but I do agree with one part. Milk has a problem. Not only are fewer people drinking milk because of milk alternatives like almond and oat milk, it's just not a part of a recommended diet anymore. I went to the official food guide here in Canada and found that in 2007, drinking milk was recommended as a part of a balanced meal. Today, that's been replaced with water. Now, I'm using Canada as an example because that's where I live, but the same is true in the States. Just have a look at the sales of milk over the last few decades. While cheese and other forms of dairy have actually gone up, milk has gone way down. So naturally, Gale is doing whatever they can to make milk seem cool to all of the upcoming generations.
Our strategy is to reposition milk as a performance drink, increase consumption, and prove that no matter the physical pursuit, you're gonna need milk for that.
Picture with me for a second that you're an intern at an advertising agency and your boss comes to you and he says, I need to make milk cool again. What's cool with the kids these days? And before you even have a chance to answer, he says, what's that game that kids play on their Nintendo? Fortnite? Kids love Fortnite. Do something with that. That's probably exactly what happened here. Gale is a massive agency. According to LinkedIn, they have more than 2,000 employees and offices in multiple countries, and they've worked with major brands like BMW, so they probably know what they're doing.
They don't.
But their biggest brand by far is Milk, or more specifically, Milk Pep. Who the f is Milk Pep? Anyone can create a Discord server. So there are lots of servers dedicated to things like K-pop groups, book clubs, and of course, games, right? Just like on Reddit, there are lots of niche groups that pop up, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for there to be a milk server, where people just talk about their love of milk. It'd be like Hydro Homies, except creamier. This is a server sponsored by Milk. The Milk, Big Milk.
So, who is Milk?
If we go back to the original press release, we see that the author of the piece is Milk Pep. And if we click on their name, it shows us all of the various articles they've sent out through PR Newswire over the past few years. Now, this would indicate that there's some sort of PR company, but that's not what's going on here. If we go to the Milk Pep website, we find out that Milk Pep actually stands for Milk Processor Education Program. And if that isn't some government initialism, I don't know what is. Now, I think it's fair to say that local dairy farmers probably aren't setting up Discord servers to sell their milk by the gallon to strangers on the internet. We need to go all the way up to the US Department of Agriculture. According to the USDA website, MilkPEP is a program that develops and finances generic advertising designed to maintain and expand markets and uses for fluid milk products produced in the US. But according to the site, MilkPEP is actually run by a group called the National Fluid Milk Processor Promotion Board. The 20 members who make up the board are appointed directly by the Secretary of Agriculture. Now, there are some rules about who can be appointed, but the group in charge of the tens and possibly hundreds of millions of dollars that are used to advertise milk are chosen by one individual. So why is the Secretary of Agriculture involved with advertising milk? Well, that goes back to the Agriculture Marketing Agreement Act of 1937, which authorized the federal milk marketing orders.
This continues for another 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna skip ahead a little bit.
And the craziest thing is that MilkPEP is just part of a broader government group that oversees the production, purchase, distribution, and sales of milk. And something I haven't even touched on is that the dairy industry is actually subsidized by the government, meaning that our tax dollars are paying for Fortnite tournaments. I love gaming ads. Video games have had some of the best and worst advertisements in the history of marketing. But advertising has changed a lot over the years. Back in the 1970s, gaming was blowing up thanks to arcade cabinets and home consoles like the Atari 2600. You might notice something if you look closely at these ads. The people playing aren't exclusively boys and young men. Sure, there are plenty of kids playing, but they're often playing with their parents, and if they are playing without them, there are often girls playing too. Now, that's not to say that ads back in the 70s didn't skew towards men, because they certainly did, but games weren't targeted towards young boys in the way that we typically think of today. Systems like the Atari 2600 and the Magnavox Odyssey were hugely profitable. The problem was that they were almost too profitable. If you could make a game for only a few $1,000s and then sell it for millions, you would probably want in on the action too. Many of the most famous video games from the 60s, 70s, and 80s were made by just a few developers, if not just one person. So other than printing the physical cartridge and of course marketing, they were extremely cheap to produce. Every company wanted a piece of the action. Now, at first it was just specialized tech companies, but by the time the 80s rolled around, even Sears had their own console. Anybody could produce games for the various systems without oversight from the console makers, so you could design a game and then distribute it across 7 different consoles. If you think PC ports are bad today, you should have seen some of the ports back then. This led to oversaturation in the market, with too many games and consoles selling at too high a price. And in 1983, the gaming market crashed. Arcades managed to survive, but home consoles were as good as dead. A new challenger approaches. Thankfully, that all changed with a small company called Nintendo. They'd recently released the Nintendo Famicom to huge success in Japan and were looking to bring it to the West. They were also keenly aware of the lack of trust amongst consumers after the whole home console debacle a few years earlier. So if they wanted to win people back, they needed a strategy. So, what was their master plan? Research had shown that more boys had played video games than girls. And it wasn't many, but even just a 55-45 split was enough of a difference for the company to build their marketing strategy around it. They wanted to separate themselves as much as possible from the Atari and other home consoles, so they decided to go after a niche market and build from there, choosing to sell it as a toy instead as a piece of tech. And by marketing it this way, they pretty much created gaming as we know it today. This led to a lot of stereotypes, and I'm not going to talk about those here. Because why talk about them when I can show them?
Excuse me. My heart is racing. You are so totally whipped. I'm Brad. Let's ride a bicycle bill for 2. Then we can go to the potpourri store and then go buy sheets. Would you rather be at home shooting a bazooka or watching a chick flick? Chick flick, bazooka. Chick flick, bazooka.
Let me in, Brad.
Who's that?
Brad.
I don't know.
Brad?
This is just a reminder that Lara Croft is an archaeologist who backflips over dinosaurs wearing a pair of rad shades. But yeah, this is somehow the best we can do.
Dear PlayStation, I got a tip that you were making the PS3 $2.99. Confirm or deny?
$2.99? Bernie, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. That's how World War I got started. While $2.99 for the sweetest gaming, Blu-ray playing, movie downloading system in the world would be fantastic. No comment.
But all that stuff says $2.99. Right behind you.
I'm sorry, you said something?
Okay, now I actually think the Kevin Butler ads were brilliant. Yeah, they're definitely a product of their time, but damn if they weren't well done. I also find it really funny that gamers were just okay being treated like they're idiots all the time, but they weren't all like this. There was a time when Nintendo just chose cool cats to show off their system, like this completely random guy we see here.
When you decide to step up to this kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying, crashing, feeling, when you decide to get serious, there's only one place to come, the games of Super Nintendo. No one else creates this kind of experience, because no one else creates these kinds of games. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
I wonder how that guy aged. And to their credit, Nintendo did eventually start to create games and ads that were marketed towards girls, like this one for Nintendogs.
Ugh, leave me alone. I'm so ditching you for my Nintendo. I mean, when I say roll over, he rolls over. I use my touch and voice to train and love my puppy forever. We're so over.
Nintendogs, only for Nintendo DS. Rated E for everyone.
Why are you like this? And like anybody who's maturing, video game ads had to go through an adjustment period. To make sure I wasn't crazy, I ran this by a few of my friends. Confirmed, it's weird. But you've probably noticed in recent years that the perception of gaming has changed. It's bigger than it's ever been. It's not just something people play, it's a culture. We have gaming chairs, gaming glasses, gaming colors. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and say that RGB is owned by gamers now. Despite what we'd like, gaming isn't just something we do. Video games are a medium, but gaming is a brand. In the past, gaming was fighting for approval from the mainstream. Now, it's everyone else that wants to be a part of gaming. We're talking about an industry that brings in more than $30 billion each year, and that's largely untapped when it comes to advertising. And I'm not talking necessarily about putting ads in games, though Nakey Jakey actually has a really great video on that I recommend checking out. I'm talking about aligning yourself with games. And some brands have done it successfully, like KFC and Wendy's. Others, less so. And we're in. This is the Milk server. Roughly 6,000 people? 6,000? Okay. How they got here? We're gonna find out. Something I wanted to do once we were in here was a little bit of keyword research. Find out how people actually use the server and whether people actually take it seriously. Are they getting people to drink milk here? Has anybody been converted? Let me get a glass of milk. It'll get me back in the game. I don't know. That's what we're here to find out. Okay, so let's just do a couple searches to find out. All right, what about Milk Pep? Hey, is this a Discord made by a conglomeration of milk companies? What is bro yapping about? I mean, it actually is, he's right. What? You're lying. It's like a dairy association or some The Milk Processor Education Program, Milk Pep, based in Washington, D.C. and funded by the nation's milk companies. Milk Pep is the runner of Gonna Need Milk, so yeah, he was yapping the truth. Wow, why milk though? That is my question. Let's search up Big Milk. Why does a milk server have so many people? We drinketh the milk and we flourish. You don't know, you just got here. I challenge you to a milk consumption contest. No, I will not fall for Big Milk's ploy. This ain't about big or small milk. This is about my integrity.
My milk stores are low. When I Instacart, the shopper always gets confused because I order 8 half gallons. What?
So I think I just found out why there are 6,000 people in this server. They've been partnering with major influencers. Someone randomly tagged Cutie Cinderella in general chat, and at first I was like, the Cutie Cinderella in the milk server? Then I went over to her Twitch channel, and sure enough.
But you know what could probably solve this right now? Is some milk. That's right. You guys could learn more about milk by joining Exclamation Milk's Discord, everybody. Join the Discord.
Huh. What confuses me about this is what their goal is. Sure, they've managed to get 6,000 people to join the server, but now what? Having a stream sponsored by a streamer the size of Cutie Cinderella is going to be costing them tens of thousands of dollars. And it looks like they're just giving away hundreds of dollars each week in these gaming nights, not to mention the $250,000 prize money for the Milk Cup. A quick scan shows that the mods all have GNM in their name, so I did a bit of light perusing on the old LinkedIn and confirmed that the server is in fact run by the team at Gale, the advertising agency that we found earlier. Now, not only does one of the mods work at Gale, they have a YouTube channel where they post song covers and Minecraft videos.
Minecraft ASMR Part 3. This is some good stuff.
What's not so great is that this whole Gonna Need Milk esports campaign is just a sister campaign for their larger Milk as a sports drink campaign. And being the creative people that they are, they really wanted to break new ground with something that the world had never seen before. So they created Milk NFTs. Back in 2022, they worked with Panini to create trading cards for 3 of their spokespeople, and then gave away those cards. What kills me is that not only do they proudly tout this as a unique, never-before-seen idea, they actually won an award for it. This is also just a quick reminder that this is a program run by the Ministry of Agriculture. And if you think that's bad, their last campaign tried to dunk on milk alternatives like almond milk by creating a fake drink called wood milk. And it was so bad that it broke not 1, but 2 laws, leading to an official complaint with the USDA.
But it doesn't have to be like this. Milk has had good ads in the past. It feels like they've been trying to recapture the Got Milk campaign ever since it came out. And now, I would like to direct your attention to an iconic piece of Canadian history.
Straight to your bones, from the farm to the fridge. We know what you want, cause we know how you live. We got the big bad Betsy with the M-I-L-K.
We be chillin'. There's a game night tomorrow, and I really need to prepare. The problem is I haven't played Fortnite since like 2018. For context, Marshmallow wasn't even in the game at that point. Like, they hadn't done any of the crossover stuff. So I'm gonna call up the most experienced Fortnite player I know, my dad.
Dad, if you had to estimate how many hours you have in Fortnite, how much would you say?
Ooh, I don't know, 800?
Okay, yeah. That's
Maybe.
A lot of hours. That's a lot of hours.
Maybe.
All right, so the other thing I need to know, what is the Fortnite lingo these days?
You know what? It would be easy to Google Fortnite lingo and find out what the latest is.
All right, and what are the winning strategies?
Winning strategies are don't get into hotspots, try and surprise, so, sneak up on them. Ideally, what you want is you want it to get right down to 3 people.
Right.
And then the other 2 people go after each other, doing a lot of damage to each other, and then you step in before they get a chance to regenerate.
And just to prove his point, not 30 minutes after we finished playing, he sent me this. Thanks to his coaching, I was finally ready. It was time to see if I could blend in with the milk people.
So here's the problem.
I spent all of last night studying up on Fortnite with my dad. And then today they announced that the game day that's happening in the server is not playing Fortnite, it's actually playing DTI. And I had no idea what DTI was, but apparently it stands for Dress to Impress, which, for anybody who knows, is actually a Roblox game mode. So I have roughly an hour. I need to learn how to play Roblox, and more specifically how to play DTI, and then we're gonna see what we can do. Let's see how this goes. Gamer. All right, I'm gonna win. How do we play? But I've got like bubble tea, you know? I think that could get me some points. I look comfy. We came in last place? Yeah, I wasn't invited back for the next round. So let's put all of this together. We infiltrated the server, and for the most part, people seemed to be just in there to play Fortnite and Roblox, and most of them seemed to be in on the joke. Though I think there were a few people who unironically were advocating for milk. The server is set up to keep people engaged. They have weekly game nights, trivia that gives you milk XP, and even tournaments with real money. But therein lies the issue. The server feels like it's designed to target young, impressionable users who are just looking for people to play their favorite games with. Now, I'm not saying that the people running the server are evil. Again, we know that they are just some people working in an advertising agency. And it feels like they're doing the best they can. What I am saying is this feels like a desperate attempt to reach people that can no longer be reached by traditional methods. And on some level, I get it. If more than 70% of people under the age of 30 identify as gamers, and gamers are on Discord, your brand probably should be on Discord. But there are better ways to do this. Don't target children. Go after the usual whales. Partner up with Genshin and put out a limited time event where if you buy a jug with Farina on it, you earn Primo gems.
Right as I was about to publish this video, I found out that McDonald's actually did exactly this.
This just isn't the way. Because after all this time, money, and energy they've invested into this, I'm still gonna drink G Fuel.
I can hurt you like you hurt me.